Hi, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Um, it's been a while since I've been here, but I have lots to show you. This is a knitting podcast called Through the Back Loop, and my name is Peggy Richards Patty. So I have a lot to show you today about knitting and the things I've been knitting and making since it's been such a long time since I've been here. The first thing is really appropriate for Valentine's Day because it's called the Love Note, and that's what I'm wearing today. I'll stand so you can see it. It is a top-down construction. It starts with a provisional cast on up at the top. You knit down, you knit the lace, you separate for the sleeves and go to the hem. And then you come back and pick up the provisional cast on and you go up and do your ribbing. And this one was the first one I made. I've actually made two of them. That's why love is in the air, because of all the love notes. The first one, this one that I did not do a tubular bind off. And it's a little tight. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But I actually made a second one, and I did do the tubular bind off on that one. The pattern's great. It's by Tin Can Knits, and lots of people have knit this. This particular one was knit on a size 9 needle. The pattern actually calls for a 10, but I kind of was toying with it. Turns out I did do the second one here. I'll show you this in just a second. I did the second one on a 10 because I wanted a little bit more positive ease, and I was thinking that the lace would open up just a little bit more. This one has been wet blocked, so the lace did open up, but before I did that, it was really it was kind of hard to really see the lace. This is actually made with a single fingering single and stranded with mohair. The single yarn is made by Work Play Knit, and the mohair is a Debbie Bliss Angel mohair. So it was super fun to make. I have worn this thing. Gosh, I finished it probably about 6 weeks ago, and I've worn it nonstop. I ended up doing 3/4 length sleeves. You can tell I've worn it a lot because it needs to be gleaned. But I did 3/4 length sleeves, which I really love, and I always wear, just because of the mohair, I always wear a layer underneath it. And it's just been, I've worn it a lot. It makes it so that, I mean, the mohair and the single just makes such a light fabric that it's super light, but it's really warm. I'm trying to fix my collar, my shirt here. That looks a little better. Okay, so the second one, I loved it so much, and I've worn it so much that I actually made a second one. This one I made more cropped. I plan on wearing it with this dress. And again, I ended up doing a size 10 on this one because I thought, well, it might open up that lace just a little bit more, and it certainly did. There is a little bit more positive ease. And this one I made more cropped. But it also has the tubular bind off on the neck and the hem and the sleeves. And I haven't worn this one yet. Just finished this not long ago. But I'm really looking forward to it. And the pattern gives you choices as far as cropped or not. And they even have a high-low hem that you can do. I didn't do the high-low hem. I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired of the high-low hem. It's been around for a few years. And so I just did this one. Is it is somewhat cropped. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of the length that I sort of like it, kind of at the hip bone. But then this one definitely is cropped, and it's shorter. And you can see in the back that it does have more ease. So it just really kind of depends on what you're looking for as to whether you put that much positive ease into it. The nice part is that your lace really opens up if you use a bigger needle, but maybe you don't want as much positive ease. So that's something definitely to keep into consideration. This is also held with two strands. One was this merino from the Royal Bee, and this she actually dyed this naturally with something. I think she used avocados, but I'm not sure. I got that at Stitches SoCal, and it's a merino, and then it is held with this multicolored mohair that I actually had originally was going to put with this yarn, the yarn of the first love note, and it looked just terrible because there's a lot of white little specks in the in this one, and it just, with the rust, it just didn't go. So these were definitely these two put together created this, and they played together a lot more cohesively, and it kind of it didn't look so jarring to have those white segments in it. So anyway, yeah, love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day. I've got two love notes here. I'd knit another one. They're so comfortable, and it goes with a lot of stuff, easy to wear. It's almost instant gratification because it moves so fast, and I can't say enough good things about it. Another finished object that I wanted to share with you is my Macaulay sweater. This one is a cardigan that I have been working on for a while, and I've actually worn this a lot too. I'm going to try to scoot back here. My beagle is underneath me, so it's hard to scoot back. But anyway, it's been worn a lot, and it's been sitting folded up, so it's a little stretched out. But this is a finished object that I've completed this winter. This was knit from wool from, I got to think of it. Shoot, I had it written down, and no, I don't. Let's see. Green Mountain Spinnery from Vermont. And I got this yarn last year at Stitches West, and it's a cardigan that I've gotten a ton of good out of. The pattern said my gauge showed me that I was supposed to use a size 6 and 7, so the 6 for the ribbing and a 7 for the body. And I don't know, sometimes my gauge just kind of lies to me, because I started working on this, and then when it's got set in sleeves, it's all pieced, knit in pieces. And when I got up to the part where you set in the sleeve, I could tell that the sleeve cap was way too big. And so anyway, I ended up really checking it again and realized, oh my gosh, it's way too big. So I tore clear down to, you might even, I don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera, but this is bigger knit than this is, because I tore down clear, like down by the bust line, and then this is a tighter gauge. Otherwise, it would have been way too big. And so I've worn it a ton this winter, and you can't really tell. There's a little more ease down at the bottom of it's really pretty wrinkled right now, but there's a little bit more ease down at the hip area than I probably need, but I didn't want to rip out the whole entire sweater. Another thing that happened on this is the sleeves kind of grew, and which seems to be an issue for me. I think I'm trying it on and measuring it, and I don't know if why the length seems to grow, but it did. And it's probably the sleeves are probably about 1/2 inch longer than I wish that they were. But I roll it up, so it's okay. The other thing that I'm really getting obsessed with right now is completing sleeves that are the exact same length. This one I think one of the sleeves is a tiny bit longer than the other. And so from now on out, I'm going to try to knit my sleeves two at a time, just so that they can be the same and I'm not driving myself crazy. But anyway, the Macaulay sweater, it is a workhorse sweater as well. I've worn it a lot this year. Living here in Southern California, it does get chilly here. Some people may not realize that, but this is great. I've worn it like as outerwear, and I've really gotten a lot of good out of it. So super happy with that. Okay, so there's that. I think that's it as far as finished objects that I can actually show you. I'm going to insert some pictures of a bunch of stuff that I made over the holidays. I made my husband a pair of socks recently. Actually, that was recently. That wasn't over the holidays. I'll insert a picture here. These are, again, the same pattern that I've used over and over again. They're called Basic Rib Socks by Kate Atherley. And he likes them as shorties, so makes it even easier for me when they're shorties. And then also over the holidays, I made my mom a couple of hats. One was a basic brioche hat by Mercedes Tersavich. And I also made her another hat made from bulky cascade yarn, a bulky merino. And that's called the Brassica, and it's by Tiffany Cousinar. So I'll insert those pictures, and we can take a look at those. I also made some mittens over the holidays, and I goofed up and did not get a picture taken. So, holidays are crazy, and that happens. But I was very busy gift knitting, definitely over the holidays. Another thing that I made recently that I love and I've used so much, talk about so practical. This is actually sewing. I made some produce bags. This one is just a little small version, and this one I've used just for bulk items. And I love it because you don't have any waste, any plastic or anything like that. That's really kind of a mission of mine, is to reduce all the plastic that's everywhere. But I made this small one for bulk items, and then I made this bigger one. I've got a couple of these, and they're washable. You can, just wash them with soap and water, and they dry really quick. But it's been really fun to use those. This one smells like cilantro. I need to wash this one. But anyway, I made several of these. I made a couple of them for my kids, and I need to make more, because every time I go to the store, I always wish that I had just a couple more. So that was fun. That was, I'll link it below. It was a pattern from Closet Case, and it's free online, and I followed her directions, to the T. So that's been very practical. I'm really glad I made those. As far as works in progress, I'll show you the first one. This is a pair of socks that I just started. This is the Waffle Rib Socks by Carolyn Furno. And I have cast these on because I'm getting ready to go to Stitches West again, and I need something just really mindless that I don't have to look at the pattern. So anyway, that's why I created that. And then I have another whip, and I'm going to stop right here for a second and go grab it because I forgot to bring it in here. Hold on. Back. I wanted to show you another work in progress. It's really so close to being a finished object, and it's the Emma sweater. I'm making this version, the cardigan version. It's by Coco Knits, and it's out of this book, her book called Coco Knits Sweater Workshop. And I'm really close to being done. I did knit this longer cardigan. There's a lot of ends and things. The only thing left to do is weave in the ends and complete the pockets. And the pockets are actually made out of going to be made out of fabric. And I don't know how to do it yet. I haven't gotten that far, but they will show a little bit. The fabric inside will show just a tiny bit. So it'll look kind of like that, sort of. But I cannot wait till I'm done with it because this is the coziest thing. This yarn is from Blue Sky Fibers. It's called Techno, and it is I actually can't remember if it's considered a bulky or chunky weight. I think it's bulky. But anyway, super excited about it. I saw this at her booth at Stitches West last year and tried it on, and it just feels like a big, comfortable cloud surrounding you. So can't wait to, put these last finishing touches and have that ready to go. Getting so close on that. Let's see. As far as future projects, the next one that I'm going to work on besides the socks is one by Kate Davies. I ordered this from her website, and this particular one is pattern's name is Rochoice. I don't know how to say that. But Kate Davies, and she had her kits on sale. And so this blue is what I chose. And this is Scottish wool, and it is, it's like a worsted weight. And you hold it double, and it's showing really bright on the screen. It's a little more muted than that in real life. But I think you create a rectangle this way, and somehow, I don't know how you connect it, but then you pick up and then you knit down for the back. And here's a little schematic that shows the front. So I did do a swatch on this and practice these big bobbles. There's like 5 stitches in one. I did read on Ravelry that one person chose to make 3, just a 3-stitch bobble. So I have to make that decision, but I'll probably do like what the pattern says and do the 5. So that's on the horizon. And, we'll see what happens when I go to Stitches West, because I don't have a big list of things that I want to do necessarily. I have some things in my queue, and I will write out everything. I'll take my little notebook and write out some patterns, some possibilities. But I'm pretty much just seeing if I can be inspired, if I see some really amazing samples and just get inspired by that. So we'll see what happens when I go up there. I did want to also tell you about a class that I took through the San Diego Knitters Guild, and it was knitting with beads, which I already sort of knew how to knit with beads, but the person that taught the class, Kyle Kanucky, I think is his last name, he's really known for these locked floats. And I thought that we were going to also do the locked floats, and we didn't. But that was okay. I mean, it wasn't very expensive to take the workshop through the guild, and we just created this little sample. He said that you could use it as a coaster, and which I was going to. But when I already found out that these glass beads, when you set your coffee cup down on that, it just kind of makes this not so wonderful little clunky sound. So it's probably not really going to be a coaster. It hasn't been blocked yet. I don't know. We'll see after it's blocked what it looks like. But that was fun. So as far as events coming up, I am going to Stitches West, and that's February. It's a week from yesterday. So February 20th through 23rd, I am taking a class with Franklin Habit on just proportions, and I think that's more like for designing, which I'm not a designer, but there's always something new to learn. And anyway, going with my friend Trish that I went with her last year, and really looking forward to it. There's also a slight possibility, I haven't booked it yet, but I might get to go to Vogue Knitting Live up in Seattle. A really good friend of mine and I might meet there. That's still kind of in the works, but that's in March, so we'll see how that goes. That's all I have for today. I'm going to share just a few random pictures of just regular life that's been happening here in Oceanside, and I promise my absence won't be as long next time. I'll do a little podcast after Stitches West. Until then, happy knitting. See you soon. Bye-bye.